Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. Lord Brahma sent to Narada Muni, "Dear son, O best of the sages, I shall narrate to you the glories of Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, which eradicates all kinds of sins and bestows great merit and ultimately liberation upon the wise persons who surrender unto the Supreme Lord. O best of brāhmaṇas, the merits acquired by bathing in the Ganges remain significant only as long as Haribodhinī Ekādaśī does not come. This Ekadashi, which occurs during the light fortnight of the months of Kārtika, is much more purifying than a bath in the ocean, at a place of pilgrimage, or in a lake. This sacred Ekadashi is more powerful in nullifying sin than 1000 Aśvamedha sacrifices and 100 Rājasūya sacrifices. Narada Muni, the saint among the demigods, inquired, "O Father, please describe the relative merits of fasting completely on Ekadashi, eating supper, or eating once at midday." Lord Brahma replied, "If a person eats once at midday on Ekadashi without grains or beans, the sins of his previous births are erased. If he eats supper without grains or beans, the sins acquired during his previous 2 births are removed, and if he fasts completely, the sins accumulated during his previous 7 births are eradicated. O son, whatever is only rarely achieved within the 3 worlds is obtained by him who strictly observes Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. A person whose sins equal Mount Sumeru in volume sees them all reduced to nothing if he simply fasts on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, another name for Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. The sins a person has accumulated over 1000 previous births are burned to ashes. If he not only fasts but only remains awake through Ekadashi night, just as a mountain of cotton can be burned to ashes if one lights a small fire in it. O best of sages, Naradaji, a person who strictly observes this fast achieves the results I have mentioned. Even if one does a small amount of pious activity on this day, following the rules and regulation, one will earn merit to Mount Sumeru in volume. However, a person who does not follow the rules and regulation given in the scriptures may perform pious activity equal to Mount Sumeru in volume, but he will not earn even a small amount of merit. One who does not chant the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day, who disregards fast days, who does not believe in God, who criticizes the Vedic scriptures, who thinks the Vedas bring only ruination to one who follows their injunctions, who enjoys another wife, who is utterly foolish and wicked, who does not appreciate any service that has been rendered to him, or who cheats others, such a sinful person can never perform any religious activity effectively. Be he a Brahman or Shudra, whoever tries to enjoy another man's wife, particularly the wife of a twice-born person, is said to be no better than a dog-eater. O best of the sages, any Brahmana who enjoys sex with a widow or a Brahmana lady married to another man brings ruin to himself and his family. Any Brahmana who enjoys illicit sex will have no children in his next life, and any past merit he may have earned is ruined. Indeed, if such a person displays any arrogance toward a twice-born Brahmana or a spiritual master, he loses all his spirituality advancement immediately, as well as his wealth and children. These 3 kinds of men ruin their acquired merits: he whose character is immoral, he who has sex with the wife of a dog-eater, and he who appreciates the association of rough. Whoever associates with sinful people and visits their homes without a spiritual purpose will go directly to the abode of Lord Yamaraja, the superintendent of death. And if someone eats in such a home, his acquired merit is destroyed along with his fame, duration in life, children and happiness. Any sinful rascal who insults a saintly person soon loses his religiosity, economic development and sense gratification, and he at last burns in the fire of hell. Anyone who likes to offend saintly persons, or who does not interrupt someone who is insulting saintly persons, is considered no better than an ass. Such a wicked man sees his dynasty destroyed before his very eyes. A person whose character is unclean, who is a rogue or a swindler, or who always finds fault with others, does not achieve a higher destination after death, even if he gives charity generously or performs other pious deed. Therefore one should refrain from performing inauspicious acts and perform only pious ones, by which one will acquire merit and avoid suffering. However, the sins of one who, after due consideration, decides to fast on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī are erased from 100 previous lives, and whoever fasts and remains awake overnight on this Ekadashi achieves unlimited merit and after death goes to the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, and the thousands of his ancestors, relatives and descendants also reach that abode. Even if one's forefathers were implicated in many sins and are suffering in hell, they still attain beautifully ornamented spiritual bodies and happily go to Vishnu's abode. O Narada, even one who has committed the heinous sin of killing a brāhmana is freed of all stains on his character by fasting on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī and remaining awake that night. The merit that cannot be won by bathing in all the places of pilgrimage, performing a horse sacrifice, or giving cows gold, fertile land in charity can easily be achieved by fasting on this holy day and remaining awake through the night. Anyone who observes Haribodhinī Ekādaśī is celebrated as highly qualified and makes his dynasty famous. As death is certain, so losing one's wealth is also certain. Knowing this, O best of sages, one should observe a fast on this day so dear to Hari, Shri Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. All places of pilgrimage in the three worlds at once come to reside in the house of a person who fasts on this Ekadashi. Therefore, to please the Lord, who holds a disc in his hand, one should give up all engagements, surrender, and observe this Ekadashi fast. One who fasts on this Haribodhinī day is acknowledged as a wise man, a true yogi, an ascetic, and one whose senses are truly under control. He alone enjoys this world properly, and he will certainly achieve liberation. This Ekadashi is very dear to Lord Vishnu, and thus it is to the very essence of religiosity. Even one observance of it bestows the topmost reward in all the three worlds. O Naradaji, whoever fasts on this Ekadashi will definitely not enter a womb again, and thus faithfully devotees of the Supreme God give up all verities of religion and simply surrender to fasting on this Ekadashi. For that great soul who honors this Ekadashi by fasting and remaining awake through the night, the Supreme Lord, Sri Govinda, personally terminates the sinful reactions that soul has acquired by the actions of his mind, body, and words. O son, for anyone who basses in a place of pilgrimage, gives charity, chants the holy names of the Supreme Lord, undergoes austerities, and performs sacrifices for God on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, the merit thus earned all becomes imperishable. A devotee who worships Lord Madhava on this day with first-class paraphernalia becomes free from the great sins of 100 lifetimes. A person who observes this fast on worship Lord Vishnu properly is freed from great danger. This Ekadashi fast pleases Lord Janardana so much that he takes the person who observes it back to his abode, and while going there, the devotee illuminates then 10 universal directions. Whoever desires beauty and happiness should try to honor Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, especially if it falls on Dvadashi. The sins of one's past 100 births, the sins committed during childhood, youth and old age, in all those lifetimes, whether those sins are dry or wet, are nullified by the Supreme Lord Govinda if one fasts on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī with devotion. Haribodhinī Ekādaśī is the best Ekadashi. Nothing is unobtainable or rare in this world for one who fasts on this day, for it gives food, grains, great wealth, and high merit, as well as eradication of all sins, the terrible obstacle to liberation. Fasting on this Ekadashi is 1,000 times better than giving charity on the day of the solar or lunar eclipse. Again I say to you, O Naradaji, Whatever merit is earned by one who bases in a place of pilgrimage, performs sacrifice, and studies the Vedas is only 1/10,000,000th the merit earned by the person who fasts but one on a Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. Whatever merit one has acquired in his life by some pious activities becomes completely fruitless if one does not observe the Ekadashi fast and worship Lord Vishnu in the months of Kārtika. Therefore, you should always worship the Supreme Lord Janardana and render service to him. Thus you will attain the desired goal, the highest perfection. On Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, a devotee of the Lord should not eat in another house or eat food cooked by a non-devotee. If he does so, he achieves only the merit of fasting on a full moon day. Philosophical discussion of scriptures in the months of Kārtika pleases Sri Vishnu more than if one gives elephants and horses in charity or performs a costly sacrifice. Whoever chants or hears descriptions of Lord Vishnu's qualities and pastimes, even if but a half or even a fourth of a verse, attains a wonderful merit derived from giving away 100 cows to a brāhmana. O Narada, during the months of Kārtika, one should give up all kinds of ordinary duties and devote one's full time and energy, especially while fasting, to discussing the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Lord. Such glorification of Sri Hari on the day so dear to the Lord Ekadashi liberates 100 previous generations. One who spends his time enjoying such discussions, especially in the months of Kārtika, achieves the results of performing 10,000 fire sacrifices and burns all his sins to ashes. He who hears the wonderful narrations concerning Lord Vishnu, particularly during the months of Kārtika, automatically earns the same merit as that bestowed upon someone who donates 100 cows in charity. O great sage, a person who chants the glories of Lord Hari on Ekadashi achieves the merit earned by donating 7 islands. Narada Muni asked his glorious father, O universal seer, I best of all demigods, please tell me how to observe this most sacred Ekadashi. What kind of merit does it bestow upon the faithful? Lord Brahma replied, O son, a person who wants to observe this Ekadashi should rise up early on Ekadashi morning during the Brahma Muhurta hour. It's hour and a half before sunrise until 50 minutes before sunrise. He should then clean his teeth and bath in a lake, river, pond or well, or in his own home as the situation warrants. After worshipping Lord Sri Keshava, he should listen carefully to the sacred descriptions of the Lord. He should pray to the Lord thus, O Lord Keshava, I shall fast on this day, which is so dear to you, and tomorrow I shall honor your sacred prasadam. O lotus-eyed Lord, O infallible one, you are my only shelter. Kindly protect me. Having spoken this solemn prayer before the Lord with great love and devotion, one should fast cheerfully. O Narada, whoever remains awake all night on this Ekadashi, singing beautiful songs glorifying the Lord, dancing in ecstasy, playing delightful instrumental music for his transcendental pleasure, and reciting the pastimes of Lord Krishna, as records in bona fide Vedic literature, such a person will most assuredly reside far beyond the 3 worlds, in the eternal spiritual realm of God. On Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, one should worship Sri Krishna with camphor, fruits, and aromatic flowers, especially the yellow agaru flower. One should not observe oneself in making money on this important day. In other words, greed should be exchanged for charity. This is the process for turning loss into unlimited merit. One should offer many kinds of fruits to the Lord and bath him with water from a conch shell. Each of these devotional practices, when performed on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, is 10 million times more beneficial than bathing in all the places of pilgrimage and giving all forms of charity. Even Lord Indra joins his palm and offers his obeisances to a devotee who worships Lord Janardana with first-class Agastya flowers of this day. The Supreme Lord Hari is very pleased when he is decorated with nice Agastya flowers. O Narada, I give liberation to one who devotedly worships Lord Krishna on this Ekadashi in the month of Kārtika with leaves of the bel tree. And for one who worships Lord Janardana with fresh tulasi leaves and fragrant flowers during this month. O son, I personally burn to ashes all the sins he has committed for then 10,000 births. One who merely sees Tulasi Maharani, touches her, meditates on her, narrates her history, offers obeisances to her, prays to her for her grace, plants her, worships her, or waters her, lives in the abode of Lord Hari eternally. O Narada, one who serves Tulasi Devi in these 9 ways achieves happiness in the higher world for as many thousands of yuga as there are roots and subroots growing from a mature tulasi plant. When a full-grown tulasi plant produces seeds, many plants grow from those seeds and spread their branches, twigs and flowers, and these flowers also produce numerous seeds, for as many thousands of kalpas as there are seeds produced in this way. The forefathers of one who serves tulasi in these 9 ways will live in the abode of Lord Hari. Those who worship Lord Keshava with kadamba flowers, which are very pleasing to him, get his mercy and do not see the abode of Yamaraja, death personified. What is the use of worshipping someone else if all desires can be fulfilled by pleasing Lord Hari? For example, a devotee who offers him bakula, ashoka, and patali flowers is freed from misery and distress for as long as the sun and moon exist in the universe, and at least he achieves liberation. O best of brāhmaṇas, an offering of kannara flowers to Lord Jagannatha brings as much mercy upon the devotee as that earned by worshipping Lord Keshava for 4 yugas. One who offers tulasi flowers to Sri Krishna during the month of Kārtika receives more merits than can be obtained by donating 10 million cows. Even a devotional offering of newly grown sprouts of grass brings with it 100 times the benefit obtained by ordinary ritualistic worship of the Supreme Lord. One who worships Lord Vishnu with the leaves of the Samika tree is freed from the clutches of Yamaraja, the Lord of Death. One who worships Vishnu during the rainy season with champaka or jasmine flowers never returns to the planet Earth again. One who worships the Lord with but a single kumbhi flower achieves the boon of donating a pala of gold, like 200 grams. If a devotee offers a single yellow flower of ketaki or wood apple tree to Lord Vishnu who rides on Garuda, he is freed from all sins of 10 million births. Furthermore, one who offers Lord Jagannatha flowers and also 100 leaves anointed with red and yellow sandalwood paste will certainly come to reside in Shvetadvipa, far beyond the coverings of this material creation. O greatest of brāhmaṇas, Sri Narada, after thus worshipping Lord Keshava, the bestower of all material and spiritual happiness, on Haribodhinī Ekādaśī, one should rise early the next day, bath in a river, chant japa or Krishna holy names, and render loving devotional service to the Lord at home to the nest of one's ability. To break the fast, the devotee should first offer some prasadam to brāhmaṇas, and only then, with their permission, eat some grains. Therefore, to please the Supreme Lord, the devotee should worship his spiritual master, the purest of the Lord's devotees, and offer him sumptuous food, nice clothes, gold, and cows, according to the devotee's means. This will certainly please the Supreme Lord, the holder of the disc. Next, the devotee should donate a cow to a brāhmana. And if the devotee has neglected some rules and regulation of spiritual life, he should confess them before brāhmana devotees of the Lord. Then the devotee should offer them some dakshinya, some money. O king, those who have eaten supper on Ekadashi should feed a brāhmana the next day. That's very pleasing to the Supreme Personality of God. O son, if a man has fasted without asking the permission of his priest, or if a woman has fasted without asking her husband's permission, he or she should donate a bull to brāhmana. Honey or yogurt are also proper gifts for a brāhmana. Someone who has fasted from ghee should donate milk. One who has fasted from grains should donate rice. One who has slept on the floor should donate a bedstead with a quilt. One who has eaten or a leaf plate should donate a pot of ghee. One who has remained silent should donate a bell. And one who has fasted from sesame should give gold in charity and feed brāhmana couple with sumptuous food. A man who wants to prevent baldness should donate a mirror to a brāhmana. One who has second-hand shoes should donate shoes, and one who has fasted from salt should donate some sugar to brāhmana. During this month, everyone should regularly offer a ghee lamp to Lord Vishnu or to Srimati Tulasi Devi in a temple. An Ekadashi fast is complete when one offers a qualified brāhmana a gold or copper pot filled with ghee and ghee wicks, along with 8 water pots containing some gold and covered by cloths. One who cannot afford these gifts should at least offer a brāhmana some sweet words. One who does so will surely attain the full benefit of fasting on Ekadashi. After offering his obeisances and begging permission, the devotee should eat his meal. On this Ekadashi, Chaturmasya ends, so whatever one gave up during Chaturmasya should now be donated to brāhmanas. One who follows his process of Chaturmasya receives unlimited merit, O King of Kings, and goes to the abode of Lord Vasudeva after death. O King, anyone who observes a complete Chaturmasya without a break attains eternal happiness and does not receive another birth, but if someone breaks the fast, he becomes either a blind man or a leper. Thus I have narrated to you the complete process for observing Haribodhinī Ekādaśī. Someone who reads or hears about this achieves the merits earned by donating cows to a qualified brāhmana. Thus ends the Vrijavasi narration of the glories of Kārtika Shukla Ekādaśī, also known as Haribodhinī Ekādaśī or Devothanī Ekādaśī, from Skanda Purana.